black and white can work together as long as we get paid.
My God, man. Do you know what this means? This ghetto's gonna be turned upside down, I tell you, upside down. If you get on his bad side, brother, you're done for. Now, it's only a matter of time before he finds out, and when he does, no matter where he is, get ready, gentlemen, because hell's a-coming, hell's a-coming, hell's a-coming, hell's a-coming, hell's a-coming.
It's a tough mission, but I think you're ready.
If we're gonna save the colonies, we're gonna need top Gundam pilots. Transforming Wing Gundam is the most powerful Gundam in the galaxy. But before you can unleash its full potential, you have to transform it from mobile suit mode to bird mode. That's why we need pilots with an ability to take on Gundam mechanics. To beat the best, you have to be the best.
Hey, this is Stephanie Shea, and you're listening to Gundam at MAHQ.
Jules, you give that fucking Nimrod $1,500 and I'll shoot him on general principle.
No, Yolanda, he ain't gonna do a goddamn motherfucking thing. Bitch, shut the up!
Welcome everybody back to Gundam at MHQ. This is one of your hosts, Neo, and joining me always is the Soul Bro and the Chris. Guys, say hello.
Hello.
How are you guys doing? I mean, it's hot everywhere. I mean,
it's on
I know it's
fire.
hot in Florida. It's been hot here in California. I know. But
it's the end of the world as we know it, and I feel fine.
Pretty much. There you go. Exactly.
As long as there's AC.
So, as long as they're AC, and it still works, right? Yeah,
yes.
Yeah.
I just got a new central AC system, and I crank it down with my Nest, and it's fine. Everything's fine. There's no problems in the world.
What's your standard
until you
temperature?
Get that power bill, right?
Oh no, hold on. What's your standard temperature? What do you like your thermostat to be at?
Usually about 76 during the day and 75 at night.
I feel well. Yeah. For me, it's 7. My wife likes to keep it 77, but with the dehumidifying option on, so it makes it about 75 during the day, and then at night we lower it down to 72. I had to negotiate from 74 because my wife is like all about, well, 74 is fine. It's like, no, it's not. I'm much bigger than you, and I go nuclear at night. So please 72. So that's where we're at. 72 degrees nighttime.
I will say this, that I heed the warnings of what my fiance calls Governor Genie, Governor Gavin Newsom, from Central Casting, our next president, and he says turn the thermostats up, so it's 79 during the day, and then we go down to about 75, 74 at night. So
clearly he lives in California.
Yes,
that's a no-go.
Yes. And I was like I was saying earlier, I was like complaining, I'm like, it's been 85 degrees here. What the fuck? And these guys are like, it's been 90 here. I talked to my mom the other day. She's like, it's 91. It's not that bad, but if you go out, you're sweating. I'm like, oh God, I don't miss that at all. You know why I left, old woman. But
Yo, shout outs to Doc over in the Twitch chat. He says accessible 73. Doc, by the way, thank you for the subscription on Prime. Much appreciated. And yeah, I think we have a special guest today. Oh man.
Oh my God, Silver, can you just let me do my job?
Oh,
But
sorry.
yes, we do. We do have a special guest here. We're going to be talking about tonight the last half of Mobile Suit Gundam, the Witch of Mercury, and we thought we'd like to bring in a special guest, and goes by Berlina Warcraft, or AKA Sophie. God, say hello.
Hello.
Hello. How are you?
I am doing great. I am excited to talk about G-Witch.
Are you cool at this point? Are you? How is your thermostat? That's just.
I have no idea. I'm in my. I don't have central AC. I just got my wall. We've just got wall units here, window units, whatever you call them.
Yeah, there was a point. Yeah, I remember when I lived in Huntington Harbor, like a mile away from the beach. I had no central AC, so it's like I was. If anybody ever noticed why the people who buys those 4 units of ACs at Home Depot, that was me at that time.
Oh, wow.
Those things are like gold, man. Like I saw that one when I moved, and I saw that thing. I was like, oh yeah, people like outbid it on one up there.
Yo,
so
that's serious.
Exactly. Yeah. So thank you for joining us, Sophia. Thank you for coming here. And guys, anything before I saunter over to the Larry King Memorial News Studio for some news and listeners submitted news? Good. Anything? No. Cool. Oh, the first one here comes from MCT Dread. And it looks like this is actually pretty cool stuff. Yokohama's moving Mobile Suit Gundam exhibit records over 1 million attendees. Yeah, that's pretty cool, right? Yeah, I mean, it's the first mobile full-size Mobile Suit Gundam. Doesn't exactly leave the area, but yeah, they've recorded that they've had about even with being closed during COVID. It's recorded about 1 million attendees, so pretty cool stuff.
I will put in a plug to remind people, if you go to the MAHQ YouTube channel, you can catch the video that Dale shot when he visited.
Oh yeah,
that's right.
Statue and the Gundam Museum there.
Yeah.
Yep.
Hopefully one day I can take Foxy over there so she can see it. I don't think she'll care.
Well, it's going to be leaving.
I know it is going to be leaving. Yeah.
Yeah, it's going to be leaving next year, or
yeah, but you know
before that. So
you know how
build
difficult
another one.
You know how it is. You know how difficult it is to take a dog into a different country, even though it's like their revered dog. But yeah. So.
She should have a Japanese passport, shouldn't she?
That's right. That's the motherland. That's the motherland.
No, actually, you know what the funny thing is if it wasn't COVID, because her birthday is on June 27th, July 27th. I'm sorry. So if there wasn't COVID at that time, she would have been born in Japan, but our breeder got special thing to have her born, so she's still recognized. She's complete, she's Japanese Shiba and everything. But yeah, if things were different, if it wasn't for COVID, she would have been born in Japan. So yeah, she's not a dual citizen. She was born in Palm Desert, California. So.
Oh man, well,
she can run for president though.
Hey, that's cool.
So I mean, I've told her to switch her party to Republicans because she'd probably be the best candidate they'd ever had. But hey. Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah, I have a Sesame Shiba, so it's like he's very cute, and she's actually smarter than most Republicans. So, yeah,
if you bury the bar.
There you go. So, thank you, MCT Dread, and you come back with another article here. Oh, and this is coming from Gizmodo. And it says Star Trek Prodigy's missing episodes might be making their way home. Oh. I don't know. Looks like, we've all heard that shocking news a couple weeks ago where we
I
heard
think
that.
that
Star
one
Trek.
was some clickbait crap because they're talking about like the second half, season 1.
Oh, okay. You're fact checking me.
I was
That's
talking
good.
about it on being on video, and there was an Amazon listing, and I did pre-order, but now if you go to click on that page, it's gone. So
Yeah, because they talk
so
here.
whack.
It's begin
No,
appearing on retailers like Best Buy and Amazon Canada. I didn't realize there was an Amazon Canada, but
yeah, Amazon.ca.
yeah. So nobody's confirmed this. So I guess, like you guys said, is this kind of clickbaity stuff? Like, I mean,
It's Gizmodo, you know.
yeah, it is Gizmodo. Yeah, they're whatever. But so we saw this, and it. I mean, what's the deal on this? Anybody hear anything else on? I mean, I know we had the first half of the Blu-rays come out. I think we mentioned this a couple episodes ago. We're probably most likely won't see the second half come out. But is there anything?
Really, just
any
have
news
no
on
idea.
this?
Paramount has been completely tight-lipped, and obviously this weekend, as we're recording this, doing this live stream, they're doing Comic-Con, and there is going to be a Star Trek panel, and they are pretending like Prodigy just does not exist.
Jesus.
It's ridiculous because it was all over New York Comic-Con last year. I didn't go.
All over
but
San Diego Comic-Con last year.
my friend went. He got me one of the free Murph plushies.
You know what's funny?
Well, I saw that meme going on because I was in San Diego. I was actually 2 weeks ago during 4th of July weekend. We went down to Gaslamp District where convention center is, and I saw they were showing, because they have all the banners up for Comic-Con, because they always put that up a week or two before, and I saw they had a Star Trek one up there that has all like the current Star Trek shows.
Yeah.
And then I saw the meme going around. It's like, what's missing from here? And it was, everybody's like, because of his Prodigy, because that was, like you said, the year before, it was like all over. So
I had kind of a bad feeling when a couple weeks ago when they were doing the whole this trial episode, and the after trek talked about augments. At no point did they mention Doll.
Yeah, that's right. Because I also watch the Ready Room as well, and I looked at that as an omission as well. And then of course, like just a couple days later, they announced that that is no longer going to be on.
Those Ready Rooms are recorded in advance, though, so how far back was this decision actually even made?
It was, well, I mean, it's a montage, or it's like a thing, so they could have edited it like right before airing, or they could have any number of things.
In the end, though, why did they do this? Like, it's the weirdest thing that nobody's ever. I mean, even the fact there was like a quick rumor about, and I think I did it on like a text or a chat that we had outside of the show, where it's like, there's somebody was saying it was like a tax advantage thing, but then that was kind of squashed, and it's like, what is?
Apparently, they did.
What happened?
There's been a Micronauts cartoon in the can for years now, and they decided to cancel it.
Well, so Sophia, do you know if they're doing anything for? Because I know it's the rules for the strike is a little bit different for animation, because
separate guild.
Yeah, animated writers have their own guild. So do you know if there's going to have any panels for Lower Decks at Comic-Con? I know the actors won't be there because all the actors are in set.
Like I said, Paramount is acting like Prodigy doesn't exist.
Jesus, man.
Yeah,
they literally put up a banner outside of one of the hotels, and the banner has like all of the lead characters from all of the current shows. And last year they had Doll on the right-hand corner.
Yep.
This year they replaced him with Giorgio.
Which is wow, that's so crazy.
It's the same exact. And I saw that actual one. That's the one I saw a couple of weeks ago when I was there. Yeah.
The bright side, at least it means that Section 31 movie is still happening.
True. I'm looking.
Well, they're not going to let that go because they want to capitalize on her fame.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Exactly.
Especially she's in a lot of stuff now.
Speaking of Michelle Yeoh, they made a great get having her as Airazor in Rise of the Beast.
I just watched that.
Before her big Oscar win.
Yeah, you know what's crazy? That movie's not bad. That movie's not bad at all. It's not bad at all.
I loved it.
I enjoyed the fuck out of it, especially the soundtrack, because that was my time. But back when I was young.
Don't call it a comeback. Well, the Mama Said Knock You Out part. The audience,
So
when I
good.
saw that opening night, cheered.
Man, it's a pretty fun movie for those who haven't seen the latest Transformers. It's definitely a follow up to Bumblebee, but it was a lot of fun. I liked the characters introduced and the little tag at the end hints to something pretty big, and you'll have to see it to believe it. Some people hate it. I actually like it because I grew up with reading the comics and seeing this event take place in the comics like back in the 80s. So to see them get towards it now is amazing. So you actually like
only problem.
Throw out one exceedingly minor nitpick of an otherwise very enjoyable movie.
By all means.
There's no fucking Bowser on Game Boy.
Oh yeah, I heard that.
Oh, true. Oh wow.
As soon as I heard that and heard the sound effects of Mario dying from NES Mario 1, it's like, what are y'all? How y'all doing a period movie and getting something so basic wrong?
Well, I mean, they did play some music also that wasn't of the time either, in that too. Like the Biggie song was a couple of years after where the movie takes place, so I was nitpicking that myself. Yeah, so there's some things that are in the movie that shouldn't be there.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Raj makes a reference to Dumb and Dumber, which hadn't come out yet.
Didn't that movie come out in 1994?
Later in the year, though, like towards the end of the year.
Yeah.
I guess for where the movie takes place, it would have been something they would have seen outside.
It's still a great movie. It's just
my only problem, like with that ending scene, as we mentioned, is that should have been the post-credit scene, and the post-credit scene should have been the last scene of the movie proper.
Yeah, I think so. I think that's actually a pretty good way. Maybe they had it edited like that initially, but
Then I gotta say though, Pete Davidson as Mirage thought he was going to be really annoying.
Yeah.
And he was so much fun. I love the fourth wall breaking Marky Mark joke.
Oh yeah.
I haven't seen the movie. So what's the joke? You can spoil it.
They talk about that he's just started to get into acting. And he's like, I wonder how that's going to work out.
Even the Funky Bunch.
You say, yes, Marky Mark and the Funky Bunch, son. Can you believe he left the Funky Bunch?
Oh my god, that's hilarious.
It's fucking wild.
And the sad thing is, he's still trying to figure out how to act. But
he's a hometown boy for me, though. They own they have like their own burger place around here.
Oh yeah,
Old Wall Burgers.
Yeah, they got one.
Is it good though? That's what I asked Solbro this, and he said it was okay.
It was okay. It was okay.
It's all right. It's nothing really.
We only have one out here. It's out by it's actually out by Palm Springs. Cabazon, I think. It's like at Morongo, like the Native American casino.
Hey man, you should go there and live a little, man. Have yourself a Wahlburger.
That's okay.
Come
that's
on.
Okay.
One of our two
do you know how many good burger
boys?
places we have? Here, like
man,
you can go to In-N-Out.
You got In-N-Out, man. That's all I would go to.
In-N-Out.
Fair. I kind of hate In-N-Out's fries.
Oh, that's fair.
Well, that and they just infuse Christian values on you, but you know.
See, they're not like Hobby Lobby or Chick-fil-A bad.
Oof.
Actually, they're worse because they put the verses on the bottom of the cup. Chick-fil-A, you wouldn't even know that they're.
I didn't know that. Holy shit.
Yeah.
See, that's why I'm okay with it, is because I don't realize it.
Yeah. Whatever.
Who knew?
So, but yeah. So, yes, yeah, that's the whole thing with Star Trek Prodigy. So, yeah, it's weird. That is the weirdest thing because, you know, at least with everything else they've like canceled or they stopped, there's been like a reason, but for whatever reason, it's like Star Trek Prodigy. We're just gonna stop it. Nobody's ever gonna know anything about it. Nobody talk about it. Like,
I'm hearing they pulled the Young Justice excuse.
Yeah.
Where it got popular with people who weren't the target demographic.
Mm-hmm.
If that were the case, they would have canceled My Little Pony Friendship is Magic.
Yeah, but that's not everything.
But I think
the
thing is, in contrast to Young Justice, that the wrong audience was buying all the pony merch. So that probably made it more acceptable.
It's true. It is Hasbro. They really don't care so long as you're buying the toys.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, look at Barbie. I mean, that comes out this week, so.
Oh yeah,
I'm
man.
sure they don't care. I mean, even though supposedly now she's like the, she's the harbinger of death for a certain amount of the population here.
If I didn't have knee issues, I would actually do that Barbenheimer double feature. I'd actually do that shit because I want to see them both, and especially Oppenheimer. I really want to see that.
Actually, the thing is, I think I'm going to see Barbie with Foxy because there's a movie theater where we can bring the dog in.
Oh.
You guys saw with Dial of Destiny.
That's right.
She gets to sit there. Actually, weird thing is like, I know everybody's going crazy about Oppenheimer, and I'm sure it's an amazing movie. But in some ways, I'm not. It's like it's such a weird choice, but whatever.
American Prometheus is a good ass book. So to take that book and adapt it into a movie, I've been intrigued by this.
It's
since
super
they announced
interesting.
That. Yeah,
I'm guaranteed it's super interesting, and it's dealing with something that, I mean, yes, this is, but yeah, I think I'm one of the things I'm like, in the current state of the world now, I'm like, it might be nice just to sit there in Barbie Land and see what happens, and just see where Ryan Gosling's like, I'm Ken, and
they say he steals the movie too. He steals.
Supposedly he steals the movie
without a doubt.
Got to give credit to the prop team for that movie.
Yeah, it looks amazing.
Turning like just seeing the roller skates that look. They're just made of the plastic, and you can just imagine putting it on the doll's feet when you look at it.
Well, you got to look at it like those things like 6 months ago were like, oh yeah, this is on scene in Venice Beach where they're on the rollerblades, and it looks so terrible because it's like none of it is like touched up with CGI or whatever, and it's like, who cares as long as it's a fun movie, but. Right.
I'm just getting tired of like the film snob people who are all like, "Ooh, it's so subversive" and stuff like that. So was the Lego Movie.
Yeah, it sure was. And speaking
of which, how's Barbie?
I love the Lego Movie. I wish the second one did better.
Yeah, I think Will Ferrell's reprising his role. It's spiritually from that movie. President Business.
Like, I don't even understand that, but okay. Yeah. I don't know, but all right, back to some news before we go into our topic tonight. Oh, MCT Dread comes back. Oh, I'm sure Fred will like this.
Oh shit.
Oh, this is coming from Variety. That's an actual website, not one of these clickbait websites. Oh my god. It's
trains never do clickbait.
Never, because they never do that either. They're never lazy. Looks like Godzilla, Japanese movie monster to end the year in -1 releases trailer. I don't know what any of that means from that title, but it looks like Toho has announced a Godzilla -1 as the latest installment of the Godzilla film franchise. It's going to premiere in Japanese theaters in November 4th, I guess, of this year, and a few weeks later in December 1st of this year. Wow, that's cool. Damn. Godzilla for fucking Christmas. God, that's a pretty.
The concept
good
is really interesting.
Yeah, that's what I was about to get here too, because they revealed an understated poster and a short, punchy teaser trailer. It suggests that an already devastated post-war Japan faces a new threat in the form of Godzilla, an enormous mutated kaiju. So is this post-war like World War II post-war or something else?
Well, yeah.
Okay.
Post-war World War II.
So they're going back to the past on this. Oh, okay. Wow.
Play the shitty games that suck ass.
Yeah. So it looks like, they don't say too much in this thing. It looks like it's directed by sci-fi and fantasy specialist Yamazaki Takahashi. The picture is the first Japanese-produced Godzilla movie since 2016's Shin Godzilla, which I still want to watch. I've watched all the clips, but they're so fucking disturbing. I'm like, do I really want to watch this movie? But
really dial up the nuclear monster aspect of him.
No, I mean, I've seen all the stuff like the transformations and stuff where he's just like leaking blood. And it's terrible. But so yeah, that'll be some good stuff. I'm sure Fred is ready to go. I mean, Fred, if you're on the chat right now, you got those dates marked, December 1st. Maybe we could do a simulcast. So Next one here. God damn, MC2 Dread comes back with another one.
Putting in work.
Oh my God, going to work here. Yes. Go Gaigar Anime celebrates 25th anniversary. Oh my God, that shit's 25 years old. Jesus Christ.
Speaking of a show that was didn't do well with the intended audience, but did well with a different audience.
Right.
I don't know. I think Gao Gaigar was made for like the classic Mecha otaku more than the other Brave shows, because the other Brave shows did better with the classic Mecha otaku than kids. At the time, the kids wanted to play with the Beast Wars toys, and so did all of us.
Oh shit! You might be onto something.
So are you saying that Japanese movie executives are more passionate about money than American movie executives, or because they're like, fuck it, who cares who likes it as long as they're buying it? I mean, that's kind of the thing I'm getting, but hey, whatever. Yes, 25 years ago, Sunrise launched Gao Gaigar, the King of Braves, a capstone to the Brave franchise, a cult classic among all Mecha fans.
I thought that show started in February.
Oh wow, it's been a while then.
Oh man, it's just, all I know is I never get bored of watching a transformation sequence.
First time
I
they
will
play
watch it
Psycho
continuously.
Yusha Robo Gundam, where they have like all the members of the Brave Robot Army, and they're playing the song over it. Oh,
yeah. Let me tell y'all something. I just because it's a Warner Brothers release, and I don't know what the fuck's gonna happen to it. I went and bought the DVD for, because it's not available on Blu-ray. I bought the DVD for Mighty Orbots, the 13 episodes they made of that show. Right? Osamu Dezaki worked his ass off on that show. If you watch that show, it's a typical Saturday morning cartoon, but the level of animation for 1984 is ridiculous. It's almost movie level when you watch that shit. You see scenes where shit is rotating. The transformation scenes where they come together to form Mighty Orbots, fantastically done. I can't believe this show came out in 84, and I saw it when it aired. It's absolutely...
And it got killed by Tonka.
And the GoBots and lawsuits.
Because they were like, hey, we're Mighty Robots, Mighty Vehicles, or whatever the heck it was.
Trash.
And, well, you can't have that.
Yeah, and they robbed us.
I love GoBots. I'm sorry. The cartoon I don't care about.
Yeah. The toys are cool.
I love the toys. The toys are awesome.
The toys are cool. I got no problem with the toys. It was the cartoon I had an issue with, and to know that it had something to do with the demise of Mighty Orbots, which I thought was just a well-done show overall. I'm glad the talent moved on to other shows like Bionic 6 and some other shows that came out throughout the 80s, but yeah, man, it's a sight to behold. If you've never seen Mighty Orbots, all the episodes are on YouTube in DVD quality. I just... pick one and watch it.
We all know the crimes of the GoBots and how they killed Drax's cousin.
Oh, yes!
Yeah.
Oh, that was so weird.
They could burn in hell.
I have so many questions about that.
Well, you know what, though? Back to the Gao Gaigar 25th anniversary. Sunrise is going to celebrate its big anniversary. They're going all alongside with Hobby Japan, and they launched a new Yushu title, Brave Universe Sogar. Ooh. And it was announced.
Yeah, I saw that.
Oh, Snowgrader.
Yeah, it was announced. It was announced during the Go Gaigar 25th anniversary Twitter account. What's Twitter? I don't know. I mean, wasn't that something that we used to do, like MySpace?
Oh, Bird App? Oh, days are numbered. Days are really numbered.
Sad thing is that people have been saying that for the last 6 months. But
though, I like that you brought up Bionic 6, Soul Bro.
Oh, yeah.
I remember there's this chain of toy collector stores around here called Toy Vault. And on the TVs, they usually have something like relevant playing, even if it's just like see animated universe stuff. I've seen Avatar on there. But one time, they had Bionic 6 on the TVs.
Hell yeah.
I was surprised to see Saturday morning, 2-cell toys, kids cartoon, talking so frankly about race.
Oh, yeah.
I was like, wow, this is surprising for a show like this.
Yeah.
No, those 80s and 90s Saturday morning cartoons were like, I go back sometimes and I watch some of those things because I'm like, okay, because unfortunately I missed a lot of them because I used to play sports. So I would, on Saturday mornings, I would get up and I would go play sports, and I'd come back about 11:30 at night in the afternoon, and I'd watch. That's why Solbro always makes fun of me about the fact that my favorite Saturday morning cartoon is Kid Video, because that was
that show's great though. But
that was the later thing. So a lot of the ones I kind of missed just because of circumstance, and I'd see them when I didn't have to do stuff, but that was very rare. But yeah, you sit there and you're like, holy crap! Some of these things are just like. They're pretty, and even like the stuff like the G.I. Joe things where like they're talking like the more you know stuff, like the PSAs they used to do. It's like, holy crap! It's like that's way ahead of its time. Like people are like talking about things that you're surprised they would even talk about. So like people would go crazy about today.
I mean, we say a lot about the '80s, but there were some interesting things that happened during that time, and some terrible stuff too. But speaking of
it's the '80s, let's do cocaine and vote for Ronald Reagan.
Exactly. Low key though, when you mention Kid Video, I can't help but mention that what's his name, Shuki Levy, who wrote with Hans Saban music for that show and a bunch of other shows. That guy's a low key music genius, by the way. That guy is
absolutely
the music he wrote was fucking wild for those shows. Anyway, I'm gonna let you get back to the news.
All right, next one here comes from MCT Dread. Oh man, I saw this. How true is this? Because it is coming from Gizmodo. Looks like Babylon 5 is going to Blu-ray. Chris, is this true?
Oh shit,
this is correct.
Oh man, I thought so because I saw Michael J. Every so often we still go back to Twitter because it's like just a cesspool of freaking right-wing craziness.
He also has a Facebook page that you can follow instead. So
Michael Straczynski, man, the guy.
Yeah, it's a pretty good anniversary. It says here, it's a pretty good anniversary for Babylon 5. And it looks like all 110 episodes are going to be a part of a complete series collection releasing this December. Oh, shit. Jesus Christ. What are you talking about? Godzilla, new Godzilla, and Babylon 5?
Fuck yeah, dude.
On Blu-ray? Oh, fuck, dude. That's awesome. Oh, so, bro.
Well, those special effects are not going to look good on Blu-ray quality.
You know what? But you know what, though? It was never about the special effects on that show. No. Like Chris, when we started, well, I mean, me and Solbro started Gundam, but then when Chris got added, Chris was like, you need to check out Babylon 5, and I checked it out. Oh, yeah. And it's like, he's like, yeah, it's going to be rough on like the stuff, but it's so much more than just the special effects. I don't care about that. It's, who cares? It's like the Gundam movies with the Gundam hammer. Who gives a shit? It's what matters. I mean,
Super napalm.
Pretty much, yeah, exactly. So no, that's pretty cool. Chris, are you gonna buy this or?
Eventually, yeah. I will say, weird choice on the part of Warner Brothers to have box art of Babylon 5, the complete series, and not actually show Babylon 5, the station.
Yeah, it's weird, right? Is this
it has
picture
an
right here
Earth Force
that
ship,
showing? Yeah,
and Star Furies and Shadow ships. Literally no B5 on there.
Yeah, it's kind of wild.
Crazy. That's insane. Why would you? Okay.
And again,
whatever.
JMS, he has no part in that. He has no say in it. So, it's not his choice. I'm sure he'd be like, yes, let's show the actual fucking space station that the show is named after on the cover. That makes fucking sense. But clearly, that nobody thought about that.
I feel bad for people like him when they sign their rights away on some of these things, but shit, what are you gonna do? Last one here
those
comes
3-cent residuals.
He didn't even get shit. That's how bad his deal was.
Yeah,
he didn't get anything.
I've seen his stuff on Twitter where he's like, yeah, just don't blame me for any of this stuff. I don't get shit on it.
Nope.
It doesn't matter to me. I mean, he's pretty upfront. So last one here comes from MCT Dread. It looks like the official website for Bandai Namco's Entertainment's Gundam Evolution free-to-play shooter game is revealed. It's going to shut down and end service on November 29th. Is that after Thanksgiving? I don't know. I haven't looked at the calendar. But yeah, it launched on PC via stream in September of 2022. And on PlayStation 5, PlayStation 4, Xbox PlayStation or Xbox Series XS, Xbox One in November of 2022. So I don't play this game. Silver, are you playing this game? Did you play a game?
I dabbled in it, but I didn't really play it for long. I know that a lot of people liked
Is it
it, but
really free to play?
yeah, it's a freemium. Uh,
Like League of Legends.
If you wanted to have an advantage, you needed to pay for the extra suits. But yeah, I could see it for what it was, and it's like, man, I love Gundam, but this is just not my speed. I'm not a first-person shooter guy. I'm no good at them. I don't use keyboard and mouse. So to play that with the controller, I'm asking.
It's all about the WASD, son.
Well, exactly. Exactly.
WASD.
Oh man, that's what you need. But yeah, for me, I sucked from the gate. And if I gave it time, I'm sure I could be better at it. But I didn't see myself pouring more time into it. But I'm sad to see it go because it got a lot of people at least.
Not enough.
Exposed the Gundam for a short period.
Not enough. If it's shut down like a year later.
Yeah. It looks like it's not.
While GBO2 is still like a huge draw, celebrating its 5th anniversary this coming week.
Oh yeah, true. It's still going, man. It's still going. Mm-hmm. It's wild. But yeah. Sad to see it go. Hopefully the next game will be more of interest for me. So we'll see.
Chris, any comments on this?
Nope, never played it.
Oh,
nope, feel sad about it.
This is why they hate you on the M boards, man. This is why they hate you.
There's many reasons why they hate me on the M boards. That's like
that's the list. Yeah.
Get in line. Get in line, incels.
Get in line.
Any
I've got
did
two.
You play this game? Sophia, did you play this game? No. Guess not. Okay. So, bro, what were you gonna say?
Oh, I have two stories real quick to mention. One sad. If anything, this is a show that's kind of been on our backlog to review. I know Chris has seen it, but I've only seen maybe like an episode or two. The author of The Irresponsible Captain Tyler passed away back on January 13th at 62 years old.
Yeah, I saw that.
Name was Hitoshi Yoshioka. And they announced it. There was a funeral service for his close relatives, and he was responsible for the novels for
how did he die?
Irresponsible Captain. I'm not sure. I usually they don't ever share the reason unless it was like, public knowledge, but definitely 62 is young, and I'm sorry to see it. Oh, it's cancer? Gotcha.
Probably cancer.
Probably. But I'm sorry to see that happened, and I definitely should check out that series sometime. I've always been interested in it, and I know Chris has been a big advocate for it, so maybe we'll set a date and knock that show out finally, so that way we can really pay it proper respect and check it out. But yeah, rest in peace, and thank you for all the work that you've given us and your creativity. The other thing, though, this news just dropped today, I believe. Yeah, it dropped today. A new series is coming out from Shinichiro Watanabe called Lazarus. Yep, it's called Lazarus. It's going to be Adult Swim announced on Thursday that they're producing a new original anime called Lazarus. For those who don't know, Shinichiro Watanabe worked on Bebop, Cowboy Bebop, Samurai Champloo, and Space Dandy. And it's going to be animated by Mappa. Another cool thing about it is that the director of John Wick, Chad Stahelski, is the design action sequences for the series. So, that is freaking insane. But yeah, it goes on to talk about it. The year is 2052, an era of unprecedented peace and prosperity prevails across the globe. The reason for this, mankind has been freed from sickness and pain. Nobel Prize-winning neuroscientist Dr. Skinner has developed a miracle cure-all drug with no apparent drawbacks called Hapuna. Hapuna soon becomes ubiquitous and essential. However, soon after Hapuna is officially introduced, Dr. Skinner vanishes. 3 years later, the world has moved on, but Dr. Skinner has returned, this time as an harbinger of doom. Skinner announces that Hapuna has a short half-life. Everyone who has taken it will die approximately 3 years later. Death is coming for this sinful world and coming soon. That is crazy. So that's a bit of the setup for the show. We probably won't see it for at least another 2 years, but I am pretty intrigued and excited for it. So I hope it's another linchpin in his work. And any thoughts on that, fellas? And lady?
No, not at this time. No, you just got to wait and see what comes out. So.
Right on. Well, shit. I'm excited, and we'll have to maybe we'll be reviewing it on the show someday. So stay tuned. But back to you, Neo. That's all I've got for you.
All right, thank you, Chris. You got any news for us? MHQ is still around, right? I mean,
last time I checked.
Okay, cool. Yeah, last time I checked. So,
yeah,
all right. Well,
we're not crap unlike the bird site, so there's that.
There you go. There you go.
I'm only slightly deranged.
And you're paying your bills, right? You're paying your bills, you're paying your hosting bills.
Yes, we're paying all our hosting bills. So not a deadbeat.
There you go.
Have no harassment claims against me that I know of.
I'm a deadbeat, but I lived off of an emerald mine with blood emeralds.
Yeah, I don't have any blood emeralds as far as I know, so I guess I'm winning there.
The only thing I will say before I conclude the news here is today is it's July 20th. It's the birth date of a musician I loved. He died, 6 or 7 years ago now? Chris Cornell. Know him from Soundgarden, Audio Slave, his solo stuff. I mean, he did probably one of the best Bond openings for Casino Royale. Probably the best of outside of that Skyfall, the Daniel Craig.
Oh yeah.
It's crazy because I sit there and it's like as a young kid listening to that, his music, is of the big four Seattle grunge bands. Soundgarden was it, and it's crazy when I think about it. It's like, shit, 3 out of the 4 lead singers are all dead.
That's so sad, man.
It's insane, right?
Damn, man.
2 of the bands are still existing. Soundgarden did the whole Journey thing where they got somebody, and that guy's cool. But he's still not Lane Stanley. And I think Pearl Jam will never die for whatever reason. They're just, I give it to them. But I was always more on the harder, the heavier metal type side of those bands.
Mm-hmm.
And so, of course, Soundgarden and Alice in Chains always got me. But yeah, I was like, oh, fuck, yeah. It's like, shit. So I've been on this thing today, like I do anytime when all these people that I idolized as a kid, when you're doing their death or their, it's like you just sit there and I just sit on YouTube and I'm watching all this stuff. People forget Soundgarden did the closing musical theme of the first Avengers movie.
Oh shit!
That was their song, the Live to Rise song. The song in the credits is their song. So it's like that's him. So it's crazy stuff. But like I said, if you ever have any articles, always post them to the Neo's Listeners Articles thread in the Gundam section of the Mecha Talk forum. And we're going to go into our discussion tonight on the second half, episodes 13 through 24 of Mobile Suit Gundam, The Witch from Mercury. Chris, you want to give us a quick synopsis of this and we can jump into our stuff? Or
and of course, you can read all of the reviews over at MAHQ for more details, since I did finish that up a while ago. So season 2 picks up a bit after season 1, and we get those troublesome witches from Earth coming to visit for a big academy open house. And they cause problems, which eventually escalates into a full-on Gundam attack inside the school, which leads to some casualties, and which results in a couple of people getting locked up, including Nika and Noria, in this room for like a billion episodes, just chilling in this one room that apparently does have not even a bathroom, and they're just hanging out there. But anyway. We get some friction between Soletta and Miorine about that whole tomato scene from the end of season 1.
Oh yeah.
And
Boy.
Miorine unfortunately realizes that Soletta is just hopelessly blind when it comes to Prospera, who has revealed what Quiet Zero is to Miorine, and basically is like, if you want to have Soletta free of my influence, you better become president of the Bennett group. So then that becomes Miorine's goal, and she's not aware that she's getting played, even though she thinks that she's doing the playing. Ha ha ha. Soletta unfortunately learns the harsh truth that she's a clone, and that Eri sort of like recorded consciousness inhabits the aerial, and that Eri has been absorbing the data storm the entire time, which is why Soletta never had any problems piloting the Gundam, and that she learns the extent of what her mom's plan is, and the aerial literally rejects her and ejects her out into space, and Prospera's like, you don't need me anymore, just go hang out with your friends at school, they're fine. And then Prospera causes some problems on Earth, does a little false flag, and gets a lot of innocent people killed, and destroys a bunch of Lethroth production types that were secretly built because Ox Earth was still in existence secretly, funded by the Space Assembly League as a counter to the Bennett group. And Uel finds out that Shaddiq is a bad boy and goes back into space to arrest him, but then has to fight him. And they unlock the door to that little prison room that Noria and Nika and Elon 5 were all locked up in for 20 billion episodes. And is like, fuck all these Spacians, and she gets back into her Gundam, gets the bit suits going, and just starts rampaging and like killing people and blowing shit up. And Guel gives a spanking to Shaddiq, who then gets captured. And after all of this, we get the debut of Quiet Zero, which is a big, ominously coffin-shaped space station thing that will create a data storm network that will just encompass everything, and that will allow Eri to exist in the physical world to the extent that she can, being inside the Gundam aerial. And we see that used to great effect when Prospera starts expanding the data storm network and uses it to destroy all of the attacking mobile suits and ships from the Space Assembly League. Soletta, having gone through some shit, decides to pilot the murderous Gundam Calibarn, which prototype that was secretly hidden from 20 years earlier in the Vanitas incident, and has absolutely no filter against the data storm. So she starts doing that Gundam panting that all of the Gundam pilots do in this series.
Oh boy.
Also, Lauda goes crazy in traditional Gundam fashion and pilots the Gundam Schwarzette, trying to take out Miorine, who he blames for every bad thing that happened to him and to his brother. Then understanding happens. Soletta pilots the Gundam Calibarn with its broom beam rifle. I kid you not. Go look at it. Look at the line art.
Awesome.
Wow.
And convinces Eri, like, hey, this isn't cool what y'all are doing. And just as that happens, some random nameless guy from the Space Assembly League says, hey, we have this big-ass laser to supply energy to space. What if we just used it as a weapon to blast Quiet Zero? So this random villain who has literally no name just comes out of nowhere to be another baddie at the end. And Soletta and Eri, they get all the Gundams going, and they unleash the magical pride lights all over space to stop the laser cannon. And then because of Permet magic, Quiet Zero completely disintegrates, as do all of the Gundams, and somehow Ares' consciousness transfers into Suletta's butt face keychain charm. And we then jump ahead 3 years later, and Suletta and Miorine are married, and Suletta's been having some struggles because she went way too high on the permit in the Calibarn, so it messed up her body, and she's slowly regaining the use of her body, but still has to use crutches.
Oh man.
She is gonna build a
She still has the
school on Earth.
scars.
Yes, still has these scars, and Prosper is in a wheelchair because she revealed that her legs were useless, and she's just chilling there, scot free and in the clear, and everything seemingly is at peace because Miorine, at the end of the main action of the story, out of nowhere dissolved the Benneret group and sold off every single company within it to Earth companies, which I don't know how that's possible, but that's what happened, and therefore it is a happy ending.
Yeah. Okay. So it all worked out in the end.
I gotta say though, you did gloss over one part: the ultimate fake-out death with Ghoul.
Which one? Oh.
Well,
yeah.
we'll get to that in our comments.
All right. Thank you, Chris, for the synopsis here, and Sophia. We always talk about like our highlights or lowlights, and one of the things we always go first is usually our highlights. So if you could just give us a couple of your highlights since you're the guest here, and let us know some of the things that you really got that really made you feel good about this show.
I will say overall, I loved all of Witch of Mercury. Makes me happy.
Oh.
It was the first time I'd been really excited about a new Gundam series since the first Build Fighters.
Mm-hmm.
Oh wow!
But I loved the aforementioned fake out. Well, actually, Ghoul.
Mm-hmm.
What a character arc that guy had.
Yeah,
the episode where they were on Earth and he's got the little girl with her and she dies because he couldn't get to her fast enough. I could feel my heart sink at the end of that episode.
Yeah,
man. And I love the fencing duel, Suletta, and it's definitely he let her win. And total fake out ultimate Gundam trope death that he was spared thanks to what I call the spooge gun, which is the greatest innovation for mobile suits in a long time, because you remember the SAP system from the original series in Zeta that always gets forgotten about?
Yes.
It was like, it felt like an evolution of that, and I was genuinely expecting good old Bob to die, because that's how like 90% of characters in Gundam die. And then she just comes out of nowhere. I forgot the name of her character, because let's be real.
I'll see.
The show had a lot of minor characters, which low light, I'll get to that. Mm-hmm. But she just like comes out of nowhere and just covers him with all that SAP stuff.
Calls them idiots.
Yes, and she's not wrong.
Yes.
I loved the inherent queerness of the show, but we'll get to that a little bit later, because Chris and I were talking about stuff with that earlier today.
Mm-hmm.
And it was just a good time.
Okay.
I do have one question, though.
Yeah.
What's up?
We ever see Prospera walking in the series proper?
Huh.
I'd have to go back and I believe so. Yes.
A lot.
Yeah.
I think
we see her standing. I mean, at least in
but
season
that's
1
in
at
like
the
low
end.
gravity.
Yes, in low gravity, not on Earth.
Yeah.
She was
No,
definitely. Was she in the cockpit the entire time when they were on Earth?
She was. I don't think that she left the cockpit of the Ariel.
Yeah, I don't think so.
I also loved how the Airy twist was staring us right in the face with Ariel's name.
Yes.
Well, some people called it like right at the beginning, and it's like, no, it couldn't be that stupid.
I mean, I'll take it over new type ghost coming out of nowhere and possessing the third unicorn. Because I can at least get how it happened. At least at the end of this, I get how it worked. But I still don't understand the goofy new type Jedi crap that they pulled in narrative. Because I was at least hoping they were going to open the cockpit and see her, like, dead body in a pilot suit inside. I can buy that. I can buy that. But just she was dead for years and then came back in the mobile suit. It's just weird. I love the mecha design. Mecha design for the series has been spectacular.
Absolutely.
The Ferrict is my favorite of all the designs in it.
Really?
That's a great design.
I
It's
love
one of my
the
favorite
Ferrict.
designs of that show.
Yeah, it's a good. Yeah.
It hits right.
Criminally underused though.
Agreed. I wish we got to see more of the real Elon.
True. The one that wasn't a replacement.
Yeah.
The real deal.
Oh, the one who said "Peace out, bitches." And
I did kind of love that.
That was the best.
And I do love how all three of the Elons that we've seen have acted differently. So I didn't like. As I mentioned, I didn't like that there were so many minor characters. I know this is anime, and that happens all the time. I couldn't keep track of all these kids at the school, probably because they're all wearing the same damn thing.
I mean, this has kind of been a problem in some of the more like 00 and Orphans both also kind of suffer from just having too many like minor characters.
Even Reconquista G had a shit ton of characters too. Yeah.
Do wish it was longer.
Yes.
That's maybe if they do a sequel, I hope it's like several years later, the new cast of characters with. I hope they do a Zeta, basically.
Yeah, I mean it's right for them to do something like that. I would love to see that myself. To return to this world, especially since the focus was the antagonist of the series was corporations in space, and Earth was on the back foot for once. So
I really wanted to see more of like them dismantling late stage space capitalism.
Yeah,
I also have to say I hate the terms Spacian and Earthian.
Oh man,
it's like Spacenoid and Earthnoid are dumb enough. Let's make it dumber.
I mean, if that's your mission statement, is there anything wrong with that? Like, let's just make it
not
even
at all.
stupider.
Not at all. But I mean, this is the last Gundam I enjoyed this much was Turn A.
Oh wow, good shit. Good shit.
I love Turn A. Again, another series that's also inherently queer.
Oh, very much.
You know, we'll get to that later.
Very
obviously.
much so.
And I just love that it's produced a lot of really fun fan content, especially the stuff regarding Eri as the keychain. If you haven't read the Eri's Life as a Keychain comics, they're on Twitter. They are hilarious. Some of them are really dirty too.
She sees everything.
She sees everything exactly. Oh no!
I don't know that I'd want to spend eternity living in a keychain, let alone one with like a butt face.
Yeah. I don't exactly
weird.
get how that
weird.
worked, but I'll take it. I see it happen. It like technobabble in Star Trek. If I see it happen, I don't care. Like, I don't need to know how Data taking over his new body from Lore worked. I don't care how that worked.
The magic of Spot.
Well, yeah, what mattered to me was like the way we're seeing it, the way we are feeling it, and It's also why was actually really fine with the resolution Discovery season 3. I was really glad it was that like personal communication story, and not just one random evil alien bad guy like the Sphere Builders or some other crap like that. It's something that felt important to the characters, because sometimes just the connection with the characters can be more important with how it makes sense in terms of science.
Yeah, it's if anything, it was definitely an unexpected ending for that season. That's for sure. Of Discovery. Any other thoughts about the show overall? Anything that sticks in your craw about the season?
I was disappointed that the character who shares my name and was like one of my favorite stock characters in anime, the manic girl with the fang.
Oh yeah.
I was disappointed to see her die as quickly as she did.
Boy, did she! Holy shit.
Yeah, and she was fun. I liked Noria too. I liked their whole interaction. I liked the
Sophie.
The interactions of Sophia and Noria. I loved them. I liked whole Earthian kind of resistance group thing they had going, and I liked how they decided to do the Mass Effect Isaac Newton is the most dangerous son of a bitch in space thing with using bullets in space.
Yeah. That's a dangerous prospect in the first place, especially when you got bulkheads to deal with. But and depressurization. But it's fun. It's funny you mentioned I go Isaac Newton. Anyway, I was just going to run off at the mouth about something, but
we're not going to get into Escaflowne.
Let's not do that. Let's
not. We got a show to get on.
That's endless hole.
Exactly. Anything else, Sophia? You want to touch?
I mean, I guess I'll let one of you go. I'll go to my whole big thing about the ladies in a little bit.
Not the women.
Oh yeah, that whole thing. Like, I'll never. It was really funny seeing these people trying to insult a culture war over this new Gundam series and failing.
Gee, it's more like G woke.
Yes, because like they failed. The most they were able to try to do, and I knew it was just created to stir people up, was when people were complaining about the dub casting of Soletta.
Oh yeah, that's right.
It's like it's anime dubbing. They always have just like this small pool of talent they pull from.
Pretty much.
There's only so many people that can work in Texas or New York.
Exactly.
These non-union dubs.
Exactly. That's what I was about to say. Yeah, these scabs. There's only so many scabs you can use to find to do these.
And when you kick out Vic the Dick, that's like 50 voices right there.
And I really hate people who have no idea about what Vic is like, being like, he was the best Captain Kirk in fan films. I'm like, I don't care if he was. He's Vic. You are clearly not an anime person if you don't know why everyone hates Vic.
He's a fucking predator that eats sandwiches that don't belong to him.
Watch your whoppers. Watch your whoppers, though.
Exactly. He's
don't leave him out.
Every so often I see that asshole show up, and it's like on the fucking on Nazi Twitter. So it's like you see
Twitter?
that. Well, Twitter is basically Nazi Twitter. It's like, I mean, it's
one in
the third
state,
right.
Yeah, I still see people who proudly. I mean, I deleted my account last week, but like up until then, like people who still proudly put in their profiles hashtag I stand with Vic, and it's like, so you're just telling the world you're a fucking moron, is what you're saying here.
Exactly.
Basically.
Well, unfortunately, the Gundam Twitter, I haven't deleted it yet because I'd like everybody that followed us on Twitter go to the other medias, but I saw in the timeline, like, he cropped up again. He had one of his things where there was some video of him talking about how he is like so, everybody's against him, and he's not a fucking creeper or whatever, and it's just like, ugh, God.
Feels like an antagonist from Trailer Park Boys or Always Sunny.
He's just, he's like a 70-year-old man that's like,
Frosted Tips.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, he's
God, I
just,
hated the early 2000s.
So somebody tell him that 2003 called and wants its hairstyle back.
exactly. He was
The 1980s called and wanted that joke back.
and in the video they were showing last week, he was like still wearing like the stuff. Was like nobody wore that. I mean, I know that's like circa Hot Topic from like 2007, but nobody even wore that then. It was just the mannequins, not anybody else wore that. So it's like, come on. Ugh.
Anyway, back to G-Woke.
Exactly. But it was so
don't say
woke.
that because you know that they're gonna start calling it that.
Ooh, they've already
If
called
they
it
were
that.
able to get that trending, they would have already.
Yeah.
That's true. They're not that smart or clever.
Show's already over, and they lost the
Nobody
chance.
cares. Yeah.
And they lost big time. Because I mean,
I was,
look how much
I,
money.
I was actually surprised, so bro and Chris, though, you guys were able to watch this. I thought the DeSantis and the woke filter would have like descended across your internet and said, "No, is there two girls holding hands?"
Not if we were in high school.
No.
It'd be like, no lesbians for you.
I don't think I can legally step foot in the state of Georgia. I would probably be arrested the second I stepped off the plane. That's
Who
only
wants to go
half
to-
joking.
Yeah, but who wants to go to Georgia? I mean, seriously, outside of Atlanta.
Marvel.
I said Florida,
No,
not Georgia.
that is true. That is
ATL.
true. They love that shit. The peach is always at the end of those credits there. So,
Made in Georgia.
yeah, made in Georgia. Oh, really? This is the sign of racism. So, bro,
Yes.
your
All-
likes, dislikes.
Man, I was a little disoriented when starting this season because, as always, when a show comes back, they kind of like throw you back into the run of it as if nothing happened sometimes, and it's like, did I miss an episode? But then you quickly pick up that it's been a little bit since the previous season ended, and we had the old tomato splat scene and all that stuff. And we also see that Miorine is still reeling from that shit, and Soletta is reaching out to her every day, sending her 3 emails a day, hoping for a response that she never gets. And it's a sad place, man. There's a little bit of melancholy to the start of this season because the split between Soletta and Miorine. And you start to feel that, and I got this nagging sensation that this series was gonna end not badly, as in like it's gonna end like terrible and this is gonna be like shit. No,
I was expecting that too.
it was gonna tear my heart out of my chest because of just all the drama building up. The episode where Soletta loses the Gundam and her rank, dude, that is like one of the actual. You felt it. You really felt it. Like,
yeah.
I don't think I've seen a Gundam series where a character's been separated from the titular Gundam for as long as she was, except for Judo. But Judo had the Zeta to rely on. So at least he had that. She didn't have.
They were all very like open with whoever used what in Double Zeta.
Yeah, exactly. Judo he was spoiled for choice. Meanwhile, Soletta is like she's just like she's focusing on her studies. You can see she's a competent student and actually pretty talented, even without the aerial. So I mean, that was cool to see her, still be able to flexibilities that she's had all the while. And it's not just the suit doing everything, but of course, her in the aerial is an amazing thing, to be honest. But you get more time with characters in this arc as well, especially with the drama that's going on between the characters. I will say maybe they had less of a budget this season than they did in the first half of the season, because I did see like some of the animation suffer from like 18 to 20, but it picked back up in the third act finally, and when it comes to the third act, they kick that shit off in fine fashion. When the school gets attacked, yo, what? I knew that eventually the war front would come to their school and shit would go down, but I didn't expect it to go down as badly as it did.
Petra.
Yeah, man, Petra got it bad. She got the head damage, and then she eventually ends up a customer of the Gundam. So
hey, at least she lived.
Yes, she did. Unlike so many other people, that poor girl that was wanting to kill Gurk. Is that how you say his name? Let me see here. I got it right here.
I like the big lady who was like the bodyguard, kind of.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
Who was trying to help Miorine escape, and I was like, no, when she got shot. But at least she went down swinging.
Yeah, she did go down swinging, man. That was a rough scene too, man. She was getting her answers, but then Interruption had to come in and take her down. But at least her partner made it through. But Guel was who I was thinking of, or Ghoul. He had a fantastic arc, I gotta say. He kind of got to see how real shit got. I'm amazed he got off the planet.
I just I hated him so much at the start of the series.
As you're supposed to.
He just comes full circle.
Yeah, he does. You love to see some
spectacular.
That's the come to Jesus moment you want to see in the Gundam series. But I found his character compelling, especially towards the end, and his involvement with Miorine, with them trying to get the presidency for the group. The series in some ways moved very quickly. In the final frames, especially with all the developments going on, with certain key players being taken out, and then these kids having to step up and take command or assume their inherited positions, possibly. But ultimately, I think it did it well. I wish there were more episodes, and I wanted to ask you guys: should the series have been longer? I think it could have been at least 3 seasons, at least, instead of squeezing it into 2, but especially as popular as the show was. I don't know exactly what the ratings were in Japan, but I always saw it trending on social media for reasons good or bad, but people talking about your show is not necessarily a bad thing. And with the models selling as well as they have been, I have to say that it's at least some kind of success. Does anybody know that for certain?
So your question is, should it have been a 50 episode or 49 or 59 episode Gundam series?
I'd have been fine with it being 36. I just think that some of the story arcs needed time to breathe. Well, I mean, Gundam X was 36, around 30.
Because it was canceled.
True.
Because it was canceled.
That's true. But a core is 12 to 13 episodes. So if they wanted to do 3 cores of this, I wouldn't have been mad at that. If they did 4, I'd have been fine with that too. It's just, I think 2 was a little bit short for it, and but they did what they could with the characters. Maybe they did intend to make the show longer, which is why the show had such a expansive cast. But eventually had a bunch of characters you didn't get to do a lot with. But they were fun and amusing from time to time. I like the story arc with the one girl that was from Earth. That ended up being kind of a double agent, but her intentions were to. I think her name's Nika. She wanted to be a bridge between Earth and space, and I think that was a noble reason. It's just that she was also having to do the dirty work of the Earthians in order to
damn Earthians.
Damn Earthians. But then we had the 2 crazies show up, and they always have crazy characters, crazy pilots in Gundam. So it was nice to see them keep the tradition with this.
They were the really fun kind of crazy too.
Yeah, I like Sophia a lot.
2 of them just play off each other. Oh yeah, she was so great.
Yeah, and I did start to feel for the other one towards the end, especially with my man Elon number 5 trying to get through to her, and then unfortunately she gets shot right through the cockpit, and oof.
He had a great character arc too.
He did. I liked him a lot. I like the fact that in the end he's often trying to hit all the spots that she drew. As a kind of a tribute to her, so that was very heartfelt. But overall, man, I thought the action was well delivered. I think there was a lot of stakes leading into the final battle. Quiet Zero is a scary fucking thing. It is.
It's up there with Angel Halo, I think.
Ooh, Angel Halo is in a special place by itself.
That's a whole different thing.
Oh, that is a horror show. But
because
it is.
because Angel Halo's got like that more like religious fanaticism to it. Like,
yeah,
this isn't as bad. It's there. It's almost there, but it's not that bad.
I gotta say that even though I also heard about the speculation about Eric being inside of the Ariel, to see the reveal still was heart-wrenching. Like just
especially when like that understudy lady was just like,
oh yeah,
no, what happened to your other daughter?
And
because like I've been wondering that since the beginning. I was like, hang on, it's been 21 years.
The math never added up until they finally revealed why the math didn't add up.
Yep.
But
well, here's what happened. Prospero watched a show called Evangelion.
Yep.
And said, "Is there a way that I can take somebody biological and put them into a mechanical form?"
Mm-hmm.
Okay, this shows me the path. I can do it.
Speaking of Prospera, I loved her as an antagonist.
Oh,
I thought her reason
so
for doing
good.
what she was doing was crazy.
Up until the end, though.
But
I mean,
it was crazy, but genuine.
It's like you cause all these deaths, and you're given just the remaining of your days as an old lady in your wheelchair. No big problem. All the people that got the signs there saying, "My Gundam killed my family." It's like, what the fuck with them? As long as you're happy, we're cool with everything.
Well, she's very
that
much...
was kind of bullshit. That was the complete bullshit thing. It's like, wait, what? Like, this bitch did like all this crap.
I mean, she's Prospero.
Yeah,
Prospero
but
doesn't die at the end of the Tempest.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm not saying she has to die, but you have to like. There has to be like some type of like.
Probably drop her down the stairs from time to time. Just do like that X-Men comic where the guy goes, "Hey, Dr. Professor X, you know what your biggest enemy is? Stairs." It just throws him out of the wheelchair.
But here's the thing: it's like you did all this for your selfish reasons, and how many people died? Like, how many people in Quinn Harbor died because of your bullshit? And it's like, yeah, and it's like you're just gonna. And what Shadiq has to, he's taking the blame for shit that wasn't even him.
Yeah, exactly.
To be fair, I don't care what happens to him.
Well,
he belongs in the garbage.
With Prosperity.
Yeah, but I mean, if you want to be in an actual world where there's like, people say, oh, we should have, people should pay for the sins that they've committed. Prospera, like the fact that and 3 years later she's sitting in there like clueless in a wheelchair, watching her daughter, like her fake daughter, sitting there. It's like, wait, what? I mean, that was like the shocking thing to me. Like,
well, I mean, she's very much the Count of Monte Cristo, man. She codes very closely to Edmond Dantes in this story, man, and for very good reason.
She is? She's what Scarlet Witch should have been in Multiverse of Madness.
You might not be wrong.
Maybe, but I mean, that's I don't know. I mean,
when it came down to it, she lived her reps, and she did what she set out to do, and she was trying to build a new world for her daughter, who was a victim of some shit that that Miorine's father put upon her and her people. And it was just a cycle of violence that needed to be broken, and it was the children of this series that finally broke that cycle, which is a refreshing thing to see, because sometimes the conflict isn't done by the time the series is over. So if we never see it, we never get it revisited we never revisit this world, at least I can take solace in the fact that they're moving forward, which is
show their wedding.
Well, they're moving forward, but it doesn't necessarily mean that they're.
Oh no.
I don't know.
Humans are going to fight, and that's a consistency that we'll always see. But I like to see that. I'm glad to see that they did overcome a lot of the problems that that the series presented from the start. Especially the racism still exists, and that was an aspect of the show that I appreciated. They
solved everything except the racism
and the class system as well. But I mean, that's evident today too. There's even if there's not established classes in the country you live in, there's still classes in the country that you live in. So I don't know. When it comes down to it, I had a blast with the show. I was in tears for some of it towards the end because I feared the worst. There's genuine moments that pull at your heartstrings in this show, and I think it's done it. It's done it the best in a long time. I would say that this series protagonist is now my second favorite protagonist, next to Laurent Shahak. Laurent's my first. And Soletta.
We are of one mind.
Oh yeah, Soletta is easily my second. Just because the shit she comes through.
Soletta is so wholesome in her own way.
But she's
like, I love the whole Tanuki dumbass thing going on with her.
Yeah.
Yes. Memes.
I love like the comics on Twitter where everyone's normal, but she's like this anthropomorphic Tanuki.
Yeah.
I love the part where she sneaks into the fridge in the middle of the night and eats the whole thing of ham.
Yes.
Oh, it's like, I feel you. I have been there.
She's simple, but she's also straight with people and herself. She doesn't lie to herself. Yes. She observes a lot, and I love that about her character. And she's a quick study. You know, when it comes down to it. She also figures shit out. She figures out when certain characters are in danger and comes to their aid. Like Nika was about to get stomped, and then she shows up out of nowhere to save her because she put the pieces together about what was going on. So she is a very unique lead in a Gundam series, and I think they did a great job with her character. I love the fact
loved that comic that showed up about last summer before the show came out. Where people were where they were trying to predict what her personality would be like.
Yeah.
And it's like what was it?
Regretful murderer, and she's like, "I must shoot you," and
yeah,
it's like this is nothing at all.
Kind of derpy, regretful murderer, like your Ketra kind of type, and Setsuna.
Yeah.
And she was all four of the options.
Oh, wow, she's just a grab bag of characteristics, man. Two last things though. One is that I did have an issue with the super weapon showing up out of the blue, the solar laser, whatever you want to call it.
The solar ray system.
And the ILTS, I believe, is what it's called.
Yeah, I think it was something like that.
Yeah, but it was really well designed. It just was out of the blue. With this faction that you heard a little bit about, but you really only saw
the whole league thing was just out of the blue.
Yeah, I mean,
it didn't have like the buildup of like the colony laser from Zeta, or like you could kind of feel that coming from the start in retrospect.
Yeah. Absolutely,
because it's made from one of the colonies at the start of the series.
They mentioned grips like throughout Zeta, though.
The problem that I have with it was just the fact that all of a sudden it's like, oh, the league. Now we have to care about the league. It's like, who gives a shit about the? Nobody cared about these guys like all these other episodes, and now they're a big deal.
So Yazzie, regarding your comment about expecting a kiss between the two of them, they did kiss. They did the helmet thing.
Yes, they did the helmet tap. That is the Gundam kiss.
Which didn't even originate in Gundam. It started in Ideon.
Did it now? Oh wow.
Yes.
That makes sense. That makes sense. Of course, I watched all that show. But speaking of those two, I enjoyed the fact that that Soletta locked it down, man. She locked that ass down, put a ring on it. And so lock it down and open up the dowry, son. I was thrilled.
They made such a good point at showing the rings too.
Yeah,
they just
did.
Implying that they got together.
No, they
got together
1,000%, and I appreciated that. I'm sad that we didn't get to see them kiss, but you don't normally see characters kiss in Gundam, but it's still I would have liked to have seen.
Oh, that's not true. That's Seed weirdness. You see characters kiss in Gundam. This is Seed's weird,
you also
like
see characters fucking
purity.
Seed.
Oh yeah, true that.
Yeah, that's just Kira and Laku's weirdness.
True.
Can I go on my Kira rant?
Oh yeah. Now that I've brought up the specter of Lord Jesus.
Well, I'm gonna turn it back over, and you can go on your Kira rant. But yeah, that's my early thoughts on this show. I enjoyed the hell out of it, man. Witch of Mercury is a definite recommend.
Yes, definite recommend. Absolutely. I still have an axe to grind with Seed, even though it's been 20 years.
Oh, we all do. more so Destiny than anything, but yeah.
Well, my problem with Destiny is it started with so much potential and just wasted it.
He's singing the same lyrics.
Oh, it's the 13 best. The first 13 episodes are amazing of that show. Like amazing, so much better than Seed, and maybe in its entirety. Just
I actually
so
liked
good.
Towards the end of Seed, except for the last episode, because they were like, "Let's stop trying to do
Seed's
Gundam
good.
and do our own."
I'm not gonna say that Seed was bad, but Seed had its misfires. But like the first 13 episodes of Gundam Seed Destiny, you're like, holy shit, this is good stuff. And you're sitting there and you're almost like, wow, this could be like the best. This could even surpass Zeta as like the best sequel series. And then it's like
it's all
then
downhill.
Episodes 14 to 51 or 52, wherever it fucking ends up being, is like.
There was this meme that showed up on 4chan a million years ago, back when like that show had just finished, where it's the guys in the amphibious suits who attack Kira's beach house, and like the team leader goes, "Man, if we fail this mission, this show is gonna suck." But anyway, so Kira. I'm not even gonna go for like the Jesus Yamato stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So let's look at Amuro and the whole new type thing. Amuro does not know that he is a new type.
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't know what a new type is until like halfway into the show.
Mm.
Physically, he is a normal human being. Just has that little sixth sense and the understanding and the la-la melting into the sea of yellow dress. The fact that Kira is a coordinator and knows it, he is this ubermensch bullshit. And name Kira Yamato, that last name, Yamato.
Oh, yeah.
Well, that is like naming an American character John Patriot.
Or Bill Enterprise.
And Seed has that really weird early 2000s Japanese politics thing that makes no goddamn sense, that 00 did a million times better. But it's also from like the same era as the Star Wars prequels and Enterprise.
Oh, yeah.
Where it's like the doldrums of this legendary science fiction franchise. Seed did really well because it was like, much like Kira himself, it was designed to make money. Look at the alternate universe shows before it, excluding Turn A, because Turn A was all different aesthetics.
Oh yeah.
Each bad guy mecha in those had a unique design aesthetic. Had the TV faces and wing of those. You have the rail faces, I guess, from X. You have sunglasses of the Crossbone Vanguard, the bug eyes of the Zanskare.
Wait, but you had bug eyes in Turn A. I mean,
but that's what I'm saying is Turn A was a lot of design aesthetics because it was the whole, Big Bang thingy. Each one of those like had its own aesthetic, is what I'm saying. Seed goes back and returns to mono eyes.
Oh yeah.
Because mono eyes sell.
Yeah.
That's why there were Zaku's in Destiny.
Oh yeah.
Because Zaku's sell. Gundams were all these safe Okawara designs. Those will sell. They are marketable. It's like how Wing managed to dominate in the US because it was marketable.
Yeah, very true.
With Seed, you also have the retelling of the original series. You have the god-awful Hirai face. You have the fun science fiction-y outfits to cosplay. Speaking as someone who owned several Zaft uniforms back in the day.
Oh, man.
was safe, and it was designed to make money.
Yeah.
No, it's Gundam. It's designed to make money.
Yeah.
You also had Lacus.
Oh boy.
For the record, I actually don't mind Lacus as a character so much.
Mhm.
When I rewatched all of Seed, I was just like, he's really not bad. And she's definitely less crazy than my namesake.
Mm-hmm.
Which, for the record, the name Relina Warcraft,
Mm-hmm.
11 years ago, I was trying to rebrand myself on the internet, and I was making suggestions for a new username, and a friend of mine just goes, Lena Warcraft. And I was like, dude, you're a genius. It's got that great double pun, because in one hand, she probably caused more wars than she stopped.
Yes, 1,000%.
Warcraft. And Warcraft. And Lacus exists to sell CDs. You've got the merchandise coming from all over the place, and for like the weird people like us, you have Astray.
Yeah.
Which is actually good and has the really cool, unique Gundam designs that they ran into the ground with like 5 million side stories.
Yeah, man.
And there's stuff I like in Seed. The Cosmic Era universe is pretty cool. I don't like the coordinator idea. It is too genetically engineered Ubermensch.
Yeah.
It's like they're all Khan.
Oh, it's true. True, the freaking augments.
They're augments.
Pretty much.
Like, Kira brags about it when he beats up Sai in that one episode.
Sure does. That scene
That was
still
in
goes
his bad boy dick phase.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And, you know, you got the Archangel, which is like the white base, but I kind of like the Archangel. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
But I always feel like the two captains should have been switched. I would have liked Natali as the captain, because she's more like bright.
I like
the
that
stern one.
Yeah, I think that's probably why they did the inverse with those two.
Because the captain in Gundam has to be a hard ass.
Yeah. Well,
Do they really?
I mean, Double O had a pretty laid back captain though.
That's you're saying that there's definite,
Jamil?
There's definite things that shouldn't. I don't get that.
There've been some hippie captains. There've been some hippie ass captains. I'm gonna just put that out there. But go ahead. Sorry.
Well, also, Sumeragi had a drinking problem.
Oh, true.
She was basically Misato as a starship captain.
Amen.
Less molesty.
Yeah, she didn't have her hands all over Setsuna. I loved her whole thing with Billy Katagiri. I gotta say, I didn't like the second season of Double O much when I first saw it.
Mm-hmm.
Upon rewatching it, I liked it a lot, and I really liked Awakening of the Trailblazer.
Man, some people hate that movie.
I was hesitant about aliens,
Mm-hmm.
but they're aliens who thematically made perfect sense in a Gundam production.
I actually agree with that, and I know that we could go on about this, but we only have so much time.
Kind of late.
Yes, so, unfortunately.
We need to go back to G-Witch.
All right, so
Chris.
I don't know where we're going to with Seed and Destiny and.
Sorry, I had to do
it came up because of Sea Freedom, the movie.
Oh yeah,
that,
absolutely.
Will be inflicted upon us
very
soon.
I made that Always Sunny meme that nobody in Mobile Suit Posting got. It was the Always Sunny scene where Dennis says to Dee, "Hey Dee, Charlie's coming over." I don't care. Shit, I don't care either. That's exactly how I feel about the Seed movie.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe I would have cared a while ago, but it's just like,
It's
well, you'll care if it ever comes, if we ever see it. Like it's
we're
one of
getting
those.
this before the next part of Hathaway.
Oh, that is funny.
We don't know that. I mean, until you see it.
That is true. That is true.
Yeah, you just got. I mean, announcements are announcements. How many we heard that the Seed movie is going to come like 10, 12 years ago.
Yeah.
And now it's like, it's going to come this year. Okay, tell me when it comes, because then I'll care. Yeah, I mean, you can't get caught up in that stuff, and you just got to put it in that perspective. It's like, okay, if it comes, it comes. I mean, Jesus Christ, what? as doing Gundam, how many things have we I mean, just the fact of Witch of Mercury, it's like, what did we say, like, I don't know, maybe a year in, it's like, what do we like, a Gundam series where the lead protagonist is the pilot is a girl? And it's like, well, we finally got it.
I like when people were going.
I'm to an aspect. It's like, until you see shit that it happens, you can just like kind of report about it, and it's like, okay, if the Seed movie happens, it happens. I don't know. Who knows? I mean, it might. Fuck, I don't know. I mean, seriously, there might be some guy in Japan that can give us an inside scoop. It's really happening. They're really recording shit. But it's like, until it happens, I don't give a shit. Quite honestly.
Also,
seriously.
Let's look at Seed versus Witch from Mercury.
Okay.
Okay.
There's so many Gundams between that.
See, but I'm saying, like, Seed was something designed to appeal to the masses. It never got them into Gundam as a whole.
Mm-hmm.
Witch from Mercury seems to be doing that.
Yeah, but what masses are you talking about? Like, I think
weird anime nerds. Yeah,
but Western, Eastern, I don't know. I mean, I think
I've seen a lot of content on Twitter for G-Witch, which I hadn't seen for any Gundam series, like not even Unicorn, which going back to G-Witch being such a success, fact that it was able to financially beat combined might of Build Fighters, Unicorn, 10 years ago. Two things that are just nostalgia, fan service, city.
I don't think you can even go by that anymore. I think if we're going by history of stuff, you have to come to the conclusion that things have changed. And Gundam now is just like all anime. It's different now.
Yes,
I mean,
and I appreciate
we've been in this game with the podcast for a long time, and we've seen the trends go on this. And I completely understand what you're saying, and I completely understand that. And I'm not minimizing that, but I'm saying there is just a different thing now. And I think when we try to compare things, it's tough to do. Because I think the way that things were, attitudes, the way that media was delivered, even 5-10 years ago, completely different. I mean, when we started this podcast, I was watching Raws from Japan of Gundam Seed. Like, that's how old this podcast is. And I would sit there, and if I got a subbed version of that episode in 2 days, I was like completely happy. Most of the time, it was like 3 to 4 days later, and I was like,
part of
I mean, that's the thing you have to realize is like things have changed, and I think when we start
was
kind
the
of
first
putting
Gundam series to come out in the digital age, quote unquote. Was
But
the first one,
but it wasn't the only one though. I mean, that's the thing. We've had other things come out. IBO.
Folks, it's midnight. I want to get wrapping up here, and I never even got to talk about my thoughts of G-Witch.
Exactly.
Let's go. Let's do the
Chris,
fun
fire
thing.
off.
Let's stop bitching about Seed.
That's for another show.
We went off on too long of a tangent there.
Yeah. Go for it, Chris. Go for it.
I'm just going to keep it very brief because it's already so late and we've been going on for so long. Just read my reviews. I really enjoyed mechanical designs. I enjoyed the character relationships. I feel like in season 2, things were hurried along in some ways.
Yeah.
They kind of pulled this trick a little bit too much at the end of like kind of a generally slow episode, and then a bunch of shit just happens in the last like 4 or 5 minutes. Right. And they kind of went to that well a little bit too many times. Was mentioned by others, the Space Assembly League as an antagonist just seems like it came really out of nowhere, and I don't know why we needed a giant space laser at the very end of the series. It just felt kind of unnecessary, and this like asshole guy like, I'm just gonna fire my space laser and fuck everybody. Didn't need that. I don't think that Miorin just like selling off the entire company in the span of like 1 minute is at all feasible. And that just seems a very convenient solution, which is then undercut in the epilogue by one of Shadiq's harem girls saying, well, you know, these Spacian companies are just going to buy everything back up eventually. It's like, okay, so then what was the point of it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And it just really rubs me the wrong way that Prospera just got off scot-free for all of the death and destruction that she caused. And that Shadiq, you know, rightfully took the fall for the things he did, but then for no reason decided to take the fall for Quiet Zero. And I would have liked to have seen like some kind of additional final scene, Miorine and Delling, because, you know, their last conversation pretty much consisted of him like kind of waking up and her being like, "Don't die, you shitty father." And it's like, but like I would like to see something that wraps up their relationship and like the places that they've been and the changes they've undergone, and we don't get that.
This show should have an hour-long epilogue. I wish it had. It'd have been.
I feel like
even 30 minutes. Yeah.
I feel like if this show had even just been one episode longer, it would have been better to smooth things out. But also, like, we didn't need to have wasted time with the space laser. Exactly.
Yes.
We didn't need to have wasted time with the space laser.
Yeah.
No.
Very true.
We could have used that time for other things. And I mean, overall, even, you know, every Gundam series has some bumps. There's no denying that. It's a little bit more rushed than I would have liked. Yes. Is it a mess like some other shows like Destiny or Age? No. So in the end, I think it's still a very enjoyable show. I think it's very easy to get into, and it's opened a door to a whole bunch of new fans coming into the franchise and you know, discovering other shows, and shown the irrelevance of the angry gatekeeper nerds.
Yes. Also,
And,
let's be real here. Gundam has always been gay. It has always been queer.
Yes.
Omino basically said it himself.
Oh shit.
With Amuro and Char acting to each other like scorned lovers.
Damn.
Well, let's not forget good old Sharma, the original
No,
pairing.
I like to say
which,
Gundam has been gay since Char got out of the shower in Garma's apartment.
yeah, we have documentation that, you know, female fans were talking about Sharma while the show was on the air. So yes, Gundam has always been queer, and no, not every relationship has a queer subtext necessarily, but like there are people who were working like overtime on G-Witch trying to like act like, you know, literally the old trope of they're not lesbians, they're just close friends.
Really? Like, it's pretty off on what they were.
Woo!
Yeah. And then it's like by the
that
end.
was the case.
Yeah. By the end, it's like, look at the fucking the rings.
They're damn
It's
straight.
just, like,
Kiss the rings,
there's
motherfuckers.
no ambiguity about the rings.
Yes.
Well,
they pretty
it was
much,
like when
they
someone
pretty
was
much talk
describing-
about at the end that they're together. I mean, I don't get that, but okay.
Someone kept describing Flag Means Death as the gay pirate show.
Oh yeah.
And I was figuring it was going to be like, you know, a subtext thing, but then like,
oh no,
you've got Taika Waititi kissing what's his face, Oran Voltron, Legendary Defender, that other Kiwi guy who's in everything.
Oh yeah, I know you're talking about that guy.
I'm blanking on his name.
Koran from Voltron. Yeah, I forget his name too.
Yep.
He was in Jumanji.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's your brothers too.
Oh yeah. Yeah, it's a lot of gay coding in shows you've seen, people have seen, man.
Well,
but
I will say this, just to put my thoughts on this show, is like, I agree with a lot of the stuff that you guys have talked about, either positive or negative. But one of the things that's really weird to me is like, as crazy as everybody's like, oh, this is so not Gundam, from about episode like 15 on, it became freaking pretty much Gundam. And especially when you get like the space laser come up, I'm like, we've seen this before. So I mean, for all those that are like, "Oh, this is not your father's Gundam show," it's like, yeah, in some ways
It is.
it ends up being that way. And I mean,
I'd also say people like expand your notions of what Gundam can be.
correct.
Not all
absolutely.
Gundam is 8th MS team.
And it, yeah, it could have done just like Chris stated, could have done things better. Yeah, it probably could have. I mean, it really could have. But I think in the end, it helps with the lore of the franchise. I mean, if people are going to be focused on the fact that there's gay relationships in this, I don't know. I mean,
Welcome to anime.
yeah. Well, just welcome to the fucking world. I mean, I can't deal with that anymore. I don't really care. I'll be the first one that just sits there and says, I don't give a shit. Like, I mean, I don't want to insult people, but I don't care if, people are gay or they're transvestite. I don't care about that. Like, I just don't, it doesn't bother me. It's like, these are the things that happen in the world.
Mm-hmm.
If I can just sit there and have a good story and be entertained, I don't care about all that. I don't need John Wayne and whatever. I don't need all that stuff. It doesn't bother me. It's just so. That's the thing that bothers me, is the fact that people get so hung up on this stuff. Okay, fucking who cares? There was
Forbid a TV show represent more than just one group of people. Correct.
But here's the thing. What does it matter? Her story. I mean, in the end, what was the story of this show? It was a parent who lost a child who was going to do anything they could to have that child part of the world. It didn't matter. They had another child that happened to end up being who cares? Like, it makes sense. Okay, it had a beginning and middle and the end.
Grief has been a motivator for a lot of characters, and I don't see why Prospero should be any different. So yeah, I agree with you.
No, but I'm just saying, in the end, it's like, who cares about this stuff? Yes, you can. I will say this. I agree with Chris. Prospero, all the shit that she did, the fact that she could sit in the field 3 years later in a wheelchair, being okay, I guess she's a vegetable or whatever she is. But the fact is like, you caused all this pain. Like, to me, that's the bigger problem.
She got the Frost Brothers retirement plan, just like the chat's been saying. The Frost Brothers.
Well, to me, that's the bigger problem. Is like, okay, she got
Katagina ending.
Oh, yeah, she got the Katagina.
She did.
All the other Gundam, all the other Gundam protagonists, all the other ones that have always gotten away with all of this stuff for doing hideous things, and it's like, oh, no big deal.
Something that
Whatever.
they choose not to examine, and what makes that annoying is, like, even if you want to say, oh, she killed all these like space assembly, they're all pilots and military, whatever, but like all of that devastation that we saw in Quinn Harbor and like crying children and whatnot, it's like, how many more Prosperas did she create with her actions?
Probably a ton.
Right. And I mean, you can sit there and say, oh, all those Space League people were military deaths. Great. Okay, whatever. But you can still, we've seen in our real life thing where you can be brought up and be a horrible person for doing military deaths. I mean, there's a reason why the 42nd president and his vice president can't go to Europe. I mean, because they've been, because of what they did in places like Afghanistan and Iraq. I mean, there's a consequences to these things. And it's just like, that's the thing you should be worried about, not the fact that Soletta's married to Miori. Who gives a shit, really? I mean, who cares?
I do.
Who gives a... Well, I get that you do, but in the end, I'm saying as a person that's straight, and I'm saying it bothers me because I don't care. I want you guys to have... But it bothers me when people that say I can't deal with it. Who cares? What? Because you're fucking stupid religion? I mean, newsflash, religion's made up. God didn't bring it down to you. I don't give a fuck if you're Christian, you're Muslim, you're Hindu, or you're Judas.
This episode's really going places.
I know, right?
Yeah, I'm just telling you that. So just fuck off. I mean, that's the thing I have with this. It's like woke. Who cares about woke? I mean, woke.
Well,
this.
unfortunately, some very bad people do.
Yeah, but here's the thing. You have to sit there and not go into their whole thing. Who cares? Why do you care? Why do you care? Why do you care if I'm a man, if I like a man, if I'm a woman, I like a woman? Who gives a shit? Who gives a shit? What does that do to you?
I mean,
why do you care? I mean, seriously.
You just gotta shut those
why
voices out.
do you care?
You just gotta shut those voices out, man.
And this is a TV show.
Yeah.
Who gives a shit?
Yeah.
And guess what?
Mm-hmm.
If you're watching this in the United States or any other Western country, you live in a democracy. And guess what? In a democracy, if you don't like something, you don't have to watch it. Who gives a shit? This idea, you have all these assholes. Well, I grew up with Gundam, and I grew up with First Gundam and Zeta Gundam and Wing, and these are the things okay, this is not made for you. It's not made for you. That's okay.
And not every Gundam series.
It's okay.
Yeah.
No, it doesn't matter what series. If it's a Gundam series, a Marvel series, if it's whatever series.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter to you.
Never seen Gundam Age. I have no intention on really seeing it.
Yeah, but if you watch something
Mm-hmm.
and you feel uncomfortable, you don't like it, you don't have to watch it. You don't have to watch it. Why do you have to watch it? Well, when I was no, it doesn't matter, dude.
You aren't anymore.
It's the routine for them.
This is a new age. This is a new age,
uh-huh.
and this is the new world, and this is a good show. It's got its problems. I will not say that it doesn't have its problems.
Sure.
But in the end, I think it's a good addition to the franchise. I think it does the things as Solbro and Chris and myself had said, 10 or more years ago, like, hey, these are the things that we want. It had that in it. I will say that. And I will say that every time I watch an episode of this show, and never the 20-something minutes flew by. I actually was sitting there, I'm like, Jesus Christ, it's over with? What the fuck? Like, they have problems, but, hey, whatever.
Days when I'm watching a lot of shows and I'm getting, really invested in it, I always have to check the time because I'm just like, I don't want this to end. I want there to be 20 more minutes of this.
I don't care. I don't care because shit replay, the thing will go into the next thing. But the thing is like, let it go. Let it go, folks. If you're a Gundam fan and you want First Gundam, you want Zeta Gundam, they're still there.
Watch those.
Yeah, they're still there. Maybe this isn't your thing, and that's okay.
True.
That's okay.
Anything
that's
else?
That's my issue with it. Is like, it's okay.
All right.
It's okay. It's it's okay. It's okay if you can still be. We still in Gundam. We will still embrace you if you say all I want is First Gundam and all I want is Zeta Gundam. I'll still embrace you on social media. Yeah. No problem. I don't have a problem with that.
I don't want to embrace anybody on social media, and it's getting past my bedtime. Folks.
True. Anything else?
Let's really wrap this
I've got
up.
so much more other stuff I want to talk about, but I think
So,
we should wait for another time.
We will do this, and Sophia will let you know this. We're going to do our ratings now, and we're going to do our ratings of, I guess, how are we going to do this? So the second half of the show and the show overall? Is that how we're going to do it?
I'm fine with that.
I would say.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sure.
So what we do is we normally say, we always do something crazy like in the show. It'd be like, if you're watching First Gundam, like, I love this show. It's like, I rate First Gundam 4 out of 5, Garma betrayals.
Of course. I was hoping it was going to be that.
Yeah, it's something like that. So, bro, I'm going to kick it off to you. Do second part of the season and the show overall.
All right. I would definitely give the second half of this season. I'm gonna put it on the old tomato meter scale. 4.5 tomatoes. Which would be 9 out of 10 tomatoes instead. For the second half of the season, the show overall, I would give. I know Enron's probably losing his mind right now. He's like, "How are you giving this 4.5?" We're gonna talk about this, Enron, this weekend. I can't wait to talk to you. But the show.
Who cares about what he thinks?
I love getting in arguments with him, but it's cool. Overall, the show I'd give 4 keychains out of 5. I really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed it. I thought it was from the designs down to the story, down to the characters, except for like some of the convenient things that took place in the final frames. I enjoyed the ride, and it was an emotional roller coaster, especially going into the second half. So I dug it, man. I'll pass it back.
Sophia, you're our guest, so I'm gonna put it back to you. So we don't have your first season, the first half of the season, but you can give us our second season and your score overall. So I think you understand the rating system, so go ahead.
Yes. I would definitely give, gotta go with Solbro, I would give the second season overall a 9 out of 10.
Oh, we don't do that. Well, no, we go maximum.
Sorry, it's the MAHQ scale.
Maximum 5.
Only
MAHQ scale.
Out of 5.
Oh, right. That's sorry. Yes.
It's okay. It's okay.
Okay, so I would give it a 4.5 out of 5. Choo-choo punches to the face.
Nice.
Oh, you stole mine.
Well done.
And I gotta give it. Look, I loved this series. I haven't enjoyed a Gundam this much since the first Build Fighters in Turn A.
Mm-hmm.
Overall, I gotta give the show a 4.5.
What?
Late night tuppers full of ham.
Oh man, you stole that one too.
God damn!
Taking all the good shit.
Leaving Chris broke.
I'm really broke because I got to go after Chris.
Oops.
So.
Go for it, Chris.
Chris, season. There's the second
season,
half, and then the show as a whole.
I'll give season 2 4 CEO resignations out of 5. And I will give the show overall, stealing something back from Sophia, 4 splooge guns out of 5.
Oh, indeed.
I was thinking that one too. Got another one I want to use, but I want to hear if Neo does it first.
All right, let's see what I got to say. So for the second half of the show, I'm going to have to give it 4.5. Oppressed Earthians out of 5.
Mm-hmm.
And for the overall show, I'm going to have to give it 4 evil corporations, evil conglomerates, who are never going to do what they say they're going to do out of 5.
Indeed.
So, yeah. So, yeah. But, so yeah, that's where we're at. Guys, anything else as we go over? Did I hit Sophia? Did I hit any of your things, or if you want to say
what I was gonna say was I was thinking maybe like 4 evil golden girls out of 5.
Oh, okay, yeah, that's a good one too. Yeah, you have to realize, like, with me, I'm like more with like evil corporations, even though I hate corporations, but I'm more about the evil corporations. So, but yeah, it is definitely good stuff. Guys, anything else about Witch of Mercury, the second half of the season or the series as a whole?
No, if anything, it was a great run, man. I hope we see more from this particular universe sometime in the future, and until then, I look forward to the next Gundam series in general.
Yeah, I'm gonna
a lot of friends of mine who aren't Gundam or Mecha people interested in the franchise as a whole.
Okay,
and that makes me really happy.
That's awesome.
No, that's good. And I would think if I was Mr. Sunrise, that's what I would want, because I think in the end, that's what people are missing from here. I think with old fans, sometimes they always forget that for these things to keep moving, you need new fans. And yeah, you're the old fan.
Turn it into Masters of the Universe.
Or Star Wars or whatever.
Someday we'll get Mobile Suit Gundam Choo Choo's Counterattack.
Indeed. I can't wait to see her 5-knuckle shuffle come back. It's gonna be the best.
Yeah, Choo Choo was awesome.
Or we will get the immortal fourth team from, from Stardust Memories. All grizzled old men.
I did love 0083 Rebellion though. It was like the anime.
That's what I'm going off of. Yeah, that's what I'm going off of. Rebellion. That was the last thing we talked about prior episodes. So
I know. I know.
Yeah.
I just finished reading that at the time too.
Yeah, it's good stuff. So maybe one of these days we'll get that. But everyone, thank you for joining us. Solbro, you want to give us the ways they can communicate to us? And I know we have multiple new ways now because the world has gone crazy. So
well, I know we're short on time. Find us on Threads. Find us on Twitter. Gundam at MAHQ. Also, go to mahq.net and mechatalk.net. And also, if you're watching the video on YouTube, hit the thumbs up button if you enjoyed the video. Also, feel free to leave a comment, man. Glad to have back and forth with you. Quite enjoy it. And subscribe to the YouTube channel if you haven't already. And thank you very much for your support and for watching the show.
Yeah, thank you. And yeah, you can say that I suck. I know people want to say that.
You're welcome.
Exactly. Or Solbro's awesome. People love saying that. Those are some of the things in the quote-unquote dark web that I see.
People saying how terrible I am. So
switch it
somebody
up.
else can be terrible for a while.
Indeed, actually, I'll take terrible.
On the Bizarro World Internet, you're their hero. So if you go to the Bizarro Internet, you're cool.
Do I need to use Tor to get to the Bizarro Internet?
You know what? I'm not going to say right now. I'll tell you offline because there's a super secret way to get to it. Yes.
Cool.
Yeah. Remember those old AOL discs for the internet?
Yes.
Do you still have one of those?
Those coasters.
Yeah. Do you still have one of those?
Yeah. It's probably lying
around. That's your first key. That's your first key.
Well, this sounds like a journey.
Yes, it is. To go forward, you have to go back. So there you go.
Gotcha.
So thank you, Sophia, Relena Warcraft. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you so much for having me on. I've been visiting MAHQ since it was FAHQ.
Wow.
And Mecha Domain was its Domain was its own website.
Wow.
Why are you making me feel like a dinosaur? Fuck.
No.
I was around
to deal with us
age.
Because we're dinosaurs. So
I was around in the age of New Type Asylum, Gundam.com.
So
maybe technically young. I mean, I'm still in my 30s, but I was there on the internet in those early days. Wait,
I was there 3,000 years ago at the beginning.
I was there, Gandalf. I was there
before Christ. Yo, where can they find you on the internet? Sophia?
That's what we were gonna say. Yeah, thank you.
Definitely check me out on Twitter, Miss_Sazabi. Because without the underscore, you got 3 S's in a row, and that's just weird. It's pretty much the main way to get me. I know you have my Tumblr listed, but I haven't posted on that thing in years. Probably gonna go back to it soon.
Well, shit.
And of course, you're
Don't
on
worry
the
about it.
MAHQ Facebook group.
Oh yes,
I am in the MAHQ Facebook group.
There you go.
Getting
Awesome.
mansplained by people who don't know Gelgoogs. That was several years ago, but that's another story.
All right.
Well, that's awesome. And thank you for joining us. We love your perspective, and hopefully we talk to you in the future. And
anytime.
No problem. Sobro, Chris, anything before we go out?
Nope. We're good.
All right. Well, thank you, everybody. Thank you for joining us for episode 278 of Gundam. Holy crap! I never thought we'd do 278 episodes of Gundam. It's always goes crazy, and you add the specials, and even more so. But thank you, everybody, for joining us, and we'll be back in a few weeks with some more Gundam. Thank you.
これか。これぞトヨタとジオニック社の技術の融合。私を導いてくれ、オーリス。ジオニックトヨタ。
See, I've lived in Metropolis most of my life, and I can't figure out how some yokel from Smallville is suddenly getting every hot story in town.
Well, Lois, the truth is, I'm actually Superman in disguise, and I only pretend to be a journalist in order to hear about disasters as they happen and then squeeze you out of the byline.
You're a sick man, Kent.
You asked.